Well, welcome to Talk Time Tuesday. We're all about educating you, empowering you so you can take charge of your life. And this week we're talking about Christmas. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Which I literally just found out from my patient that Christmas was in a few days. I had not planned anything. But yeah, how's Christmas going for you, or Christmas planning going for you?
Well, it's very different this year, since we're not socially gathering. I did light decorations,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have to buy as many, stuff, not as much stuff. So
Yeah.
that was different. Yeah.
What else?
What else that's deeper that is different?
Yeah, I guess for me, Christmas was a time when we would all of us would usually plan to fly back home to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was centered around gathering, lots and lots of gathering.
Food.
And, food, of course. And this year we're having to, how do you make something still meaningful while having to, in a way, cut out the thing that made it meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
which was
People.
people. And so we're having to refocus. But the holidays are a time when there's a lot of stress, and increased stress. So how do we manage that? And really, that is what today's talk is about, holiday stress.
Mm-hmm.
We've had an extraordinary year.
Yeah.
A lot of, 2020 has been extra, okay? A year like none other that any of us have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have lost jobs. We've gone through a very contentious election season.
Mm-hmm.
People are torn. People feel like, they're living on different planets,
Mm-hmm.
literally. And, how do we go through a time that's supposed to be joyous and happy when people have lost so much? Not just even jobs, loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
So it's been an extraordinary year, and I think probably also a challenging holiday,
Mm-hmm.
season. So,
Well, I know that sometimes the most basic things are the only things that are truly helpful and meaningful. And sometimes people take it for granted,
right.
and they're like, oh, that's silly. I've done that before, or it didn't help me. And so we've talked before about a gratitude journal, or thinking about and managing your emotions, right? I mean, just this week I had someone who was suicidal, depressed, drinking, and so you see all these Christmas decorations everywhere, and you see everyone being happy, but at the end of the day, there's so many people, it's just a facade. Facebook is like the biggest facade ever.
It surely is.
It's just it's a big competition. Like, look how happy I am, look how pretty I am, and it's just not real,
Right.
And so things kind of simmer and then they boil up to a head. And so I would say that if you are starting to feel lonely or sad, because you're not going to be spending the holidays with your loved ones, then some of the things that you can do that might be different this year is focus on other people who might need you more. I mean, that's kind of my go-to. Obviously, being a physician, it always helps me when I take myself out of my, like, woe is me,
Right.
doesn't my life suck, when I know it doesn't, and oh, I didn't get this, or this isn't going to happen. When I think about other people and I think, what can I do for them? How can I be of service? And that always helps me.
And we've done a similar thing in our home when, this year we're doing something that we haven't done before, and I hope I don't give it out, so I'm not going to say anything. But we really are focusing on others this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we're not really doing gifts for each other. However, if you get me a surprise,
you be fine with that.
I'm like, hey, So, but on a serious note, we're not doing any big gifts for each other or anything like that. We really are focusing on, what it is that we have, because like you said, gratitude. This year I've come to value family more than I ever have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always thought people would be around. I always thought I could go see whomever, whenever. And I realized that tomorrow is not promised.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the ability to go and see whomever I want, whenever I wanted, was actually a blessing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that today, and I knock on wood and I pray hard, I'm thankful for, you know, the vaccine that's here, but my family has done very well in the midst of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And when this whole thing started, I freaked out so much because we have so many healthcare workers in our family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my aunt works in the ICU, my mom's a doctor, there's other ones in the ER, my sister's, you know, an OB-GYN, seeing people. So, you know, but everyone has done well and has done okay, and I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year we have chosen to show love to our loved ones in a way that they're not expecting. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, well, you have to tell us the surprise after.
All right, I will. Nothing big. I'm happy because, you know, yeah, they're not expecting.
So it's interesting, you know, when you said I'm happy, because I have a lot of patients who are like, well, how come you're always joyous, Dr. Dharma? Like, it always seems like you're doing stuff and you're constantly moving and you just seem like everything is great, you know? And so either it's like all a big lie, you know, and it's just like all
It's not.
Facebook.
She's like this 24/7. Well,
for as long as I've known you, you know? And yeah, it's not like I don't have my bad days, but it's a choice, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is I am in control of my emotions, and I can choose to feel the way that I do.
100%.
And so even when I might feel like, oh, I want to be sad, then I make an active effort not to be sad. Like, I think, okay, I'm feeling bad, so what can I do to feel better, you know? And of course, my go-to always is work out, you know? I mean, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, I work with my kids on it,
Yeah.
you know, on increasing your serotonin, and I mean, it always works, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had a patient this week that, you know, has lived with depression for years and years and years. And, you know, I asked them how their depression was, and they said to me, well, it's bad, and it's, you know, it's just always bad, and it's just the way that it is. And so I asked them, I said, well, what are things that give you joy or that you enjoy? And they started to list a number of things for me. And even though we had the mask on, when they started talking about it, their face lit up. And I said, see, that's not
that's
a
your
moment
joy.
of sadness. Do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things that
Well,
bring
then
you
that
joy.
was because they were doing a gratitude journal, right? They were going through all the things that they love and that they're grateful for and that they are intentional about.
Right.
And so, you know, that's why when you go to a counselor, when you write it in a book, that you feel better.
Right.
And yet it sounds like that's crazy. I like feel so sad. Why would saying, well, what am I grateful for today, make me feel better? But yet it does.
It really does. Do you know what else that gratitude does, though? It's not just making you feel mentally better. It also is, you know, helping you cardiovascularly, you know. So I had a patient, you know, I had heard about this actually on a documentary about, you know, a cardiologist who noticed that his patients who seemed to be more content had a lower CRP level. So he decided, well, CRP is an inflammation marker, which can be high if you tend to have more cardiac disease. So he decided to do a study and had some of his patients do a gratitude journal, and then some of them, you know, just do whatever. And when they came back within a specified amount of time, their inflammatory marker went down.
I believe it.
I told a patient this, and she didn't really believe me. And so she's a researcher, and she went and did her research, and she pulled up the article, and she sent me an email and said, Dr. Ashton, here this is. So I printed it, and I put it on my wall. And anytime a patient, you know, I would print it out and give it to them and say, here, there's evidence that, you know, there's something that living a life of gratitude intentionally, you know. You're right. Joy is not something, and happiness is not something that happens by accident. It is something that we make a choice
Mm-hmm.
to have.
Right. And just, I know I always say laughter is the best medicine, you know? And I had it on one of my posts, and then my sweet patient made me a t-shirt with it on, you know, and you know, remember Dr. Nitty, we had her, by accident, we got a picture of her when she was laughing, and just to see her laughing and smiling then puts a smile on your face.
Right.
And in addition, you know, they talk about when you're on the phone, if you put a smile on your face, even if it is contrite, that then sets the tone for what you say to someone, how you react to someone, because you've got a intentional smile, you know? And so those things are all very connected. And sometimes, you know, we're so in the scientific realm that we don't allow ourselves to be wah-wah, you know?
Yeah.
And a little, I mean, you know, sometimes I wonder, like, what do other doctors think?
But okay.
Is it woo-woo?
I think so.
Okay, because like I wonder, well, when your doctor friends watch, you know, us talking, or when, you know, we are talking about simple things that make a big difference in people's wellness.
Right.
We're not talking about meds or
Right.
the latest studies or research.
Right.
And so does that make us like less doctoring? You know, are we not really talking about hard-hitting subjects? But I mean, I think we intentionally leave it at this level so that you can implement some of these things in real time. And you can do it the minute you finish watching this video. And it might even be where you think, oh God, I'm so tired of them. And then, you know, you like later think, okay, well, I feel really bad. And Dr. Ashita and Dr. Dharma were like, well, if I choose to not, then maybe I'll feel better. Today I posted about a patient who, she sent me a message and she said, I couldn't sleep. I've been so anxious and feeling really bad. And I decided to get up and run 2 miles because, you know, I hope that makes you proud of me, you know? So, yeah, I mean, like for all the posts and all the effort that we put in to like really visit with y'all. And I mean, another patient was talking about, you know, well, if I tag you, if I say something to you, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, I mean, the reason that we do it as family medicine doctors, it's kind of the future of how we engage with our patients in a real way that makes a difference, because I can't see you every 3 months and have a real impact on your life, you know? I mean, not in a meaningful way, not in the way that I want to make a difference. And if it takes just hanging out with you on social media, because that's kind of what you're doing, you know, and if something we say touches a chord or you remember something and it makes a difference for just one person, then that's enough. That's enough for me, you know?
The interesting thing is you say it makes a difference for them, but even for me and making the choice, like I need to make myself healthier, you guys are keeping me accountable
for sure
even on that. So it's not even one way. So yeah, let us know, what are you doing to stay joyful despite this, you know, interesting year? What are you doing to stay hopeful? We look forward to engaging with you some more, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Bye.